One.
What's up, guys? This is Corey Baker from Baker Forge and Tool. This is Corey Baker from Baker
My
Forge
bad.
and Tool. In my business, we do tons of heavy grinding every single day, and we needed a grinder that could take abuse and keep on trucking without slowing down billet production. The AmeriBraid variable speed 2x72 is just that. All heavy-duty parts and framing with well-thought-out accessories that are easy to use and not bogged down with lots of tiny parts. By far, the best accessory item that AmeriBraid sells is their surface grinding attachment. It is absolutely foolproof and the best in the industry. With quick-release magnet system, there is no prying your workpiece off the platen. Very fast to slap a billet or a knife onto the table, engage magnets, and start surfacing with precise increments. On top of all of this, their customer support is outstanding. Eric and Kevin are always available and fast to help with any situation. If you're in the market for a top-of-the-line grinder, or maybe just an accessory to add to your existing setup, go to AmeriBraid.com and use the code HUSTLE100 for $100 off any grinder package. All right, next up, the Hustle and Grind Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Ryan Chadbourne Knifeworks, as always, here with Noah from the Eniot River Forge. And this week, we got some bros in the house. We got Brigham Kindell and Micah Dunn from MD Edgeworks. Hey, boys. Oh, Jesus.
What's going on, guys?
That was a good one.
People are going to want to watch the YouTube just for the first minute and a half.
Well, it's really this might be one of, I know we always say this, but it might be one of the best YouTube experiences because we had some shenanigans while the ad was playing, and Brigham is just cozy as a cucumber, just like laying on his bed. He's all snuggled up. I mean,
it's nice. Just sitting in a hotel.
He's got his ankles all up, like clicked together and everything. I mean, if people are into
all four toes.
Utah feet pics. I mean, right there, buddy.
Oh, show us the toe.
Oh, yeah, dude. I just showed the bottom side of my foot. That's weird. That guy's going to I shouldn't have said it. Now he's going to go to the YouTube and weird pictures
It'll be our most watched episode.
Yeah, people
by one guy.
Good money for that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to make my OnlyFans tank.
I actually dated a girl who had a foot fetish website many, many moons ago, and this was 13 years ago, so it was way before everything now, and she was making like $3,000 a week.
Jeez,
selling pictures, still frame photos of her feet and her in a bathrobe smoking cigarettes.
What's wrong with people?
She was classy.
It sounds classy.
She never met my mama. Yeah, she did not meet my mama.
Every time I get like a random payment or something from somebody for like a deposit or something, my wife texts me and she's like, "Hey, what's this money coming through for?" And I'm like, "Oh, just making that money selling feet pics."
Oh, good Lord. Well, it's been a little bit, guys. What's I know we don't normally do this, but what y'all have been making recently? Brigham, let's go with you, buddy.
I haven't been making much yet. I've just been really busy with my business, so I've been doing a lot of concrete lifting. But this last Saturday, I did get to go up to Shadow Mountain Forge in northern Utah. They had a hammer in, which was really cool because I got to make a metal pillow there.
I saw that.
Super awesome.
That was cool.
That was epic, man.
Yeah, and then I saw James Rodabaugh. He gave us some forging tips, which like just some little things that totally changed the way I'm going to forge, and so it's just kind of cool to learn from a master smith and all those little tips and tricks and watch them do it. And if you don't know who James Rodabaugh is, he and Jason Knight kind of learned a lot from each other, I guess. Like he taught Jason Knight how to actually forge, or at least that's what he said. So, pretty cool stuff. And him and Jason and Adam DeRozier's all became like pretty tight together. And
I'm sure if you
that.
asked Jason, Jason would probably say he taught him to forge the other way around.
Probably. I don't know. But really cool experience. And there was also a guy, Andrew Bloomfield, which is spelled like Blom, Blom, but is pronounced Bloom. He just became a journeyman last year, but he taught us how to do a keyhole knife, which there was some like killer tips and tricks out of that I'm excited to work on. But so I haven't really made much, but I've been learning a lot.
Very cool. And just in case anyone was wondering, that was a joke. This is just my voice, and this is the voice that I tell jokes in, and it's all the same voice. So that little thing about Jason Knight there, I apologize if anyone didn't get that.
I already texted him to settle the issue.
Oh, fantastic! All right. That's really cool. I saw that you posted a reel about the keyhole thing. It sounds like something that Micah could really have used recently, because he can't do keyholes. He just makes steel, and then other people make keyholes for him. Speaking of which, Micah, what you been up to lately, bud?
I mean, I hit the ground running after Blade, so I'm still like pumping stuff out.
You don't even have a response to that? Like I just completely just like stabbed you, and you have nothing? That's it?
No, I mean, I'll let my work stand for itself, you know.
He's being the bigger man is what's happening here.
Okay, all right.
So I've got 3 keyholes in my shop right now that they're not like they're not pressing, so they've been sitting there, and I just haven't done anything with them. But when James asked to do that collaboration, I was just like, "Yeah, dude, you do you. I'm more than happy to make the steel. That's my favorite part." But yeah, I need to finish one soon. But I made a lot of Damascus, and then I realized, hey, you have customer orders that you need to finish up and get done. So now I've got an order that's 2 hunters and a Santoku that I'm doing. It's Sanmai, and what's really cool is the guy where he proposed, I guess it was near a railroad tracks that him and his fiance would go walk around. So he sent me some railroad spikes from that location, and so I mixed those in with some different steels for the Damascus portion of it, and then I put a 1084 core for the edge portion, and so I've got the Santoku forged out, and now I've got to do 2 like little drop point hunters. And then I've got a feather Damascus Santoku that I'm doing, and a bunch of other random stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, 100-degree heat is not it's not fun right now, but it's work. So it's coming along. But
right on, man. So you're using the steel from the railroad spikes as cladding for the Sanmai?
yeah, well, I did that with some other steels to make a higher layer Damascus. So that way it'll have, more contrast, not just the railroad spikes, but it's
Very
in the
cool.
cladding. Yes. But
Very cool.
What's
Can I
crazy?
ask a question about that?
Yeah.
So, do you ever have problems, like, with using a metal like the railroad spikes with other metals? Like, is that something that you've tried a lot, or
No.
were you just winging it?
Well, I don't, I know railroad spikes don't harden like most other steels. So mixing that with other stuff, I don't have a problem with, but I just don't want any of that on the edge, because that's going to create a soft spot on the edge, So doing it as a Sanmai, it's perfectly fine. If I was to do it as a full Damascus, I would probably try and talk the person out of something, or do like an actual Sanmai, if they wanted like a full Damascus edge, with a Damascus, like a 1084 15 and 20 core or something like that. That way I would know that the edge is for sure going to be all hardenable steels and not have any flaws anywhere where that softer steel could possibly be. So
very cool, man. That's an awesome thing. I love when customers are able to incorporate materials that kind of mean something to them into a special build like that. It's always really cool to be able to do. I had a customer who had a certain type of material that he wanted included in the handle that I was able to do. And I don't want to talk about exactly what it was, but it was some very special material that he had from his dad that I was able to incorporate. And that was kind of tough because, I mean, you're talking about cutting up something that's, however many years old, and it's got all this meaning to it. And it's like, I'm cutting this up and I'm going to have to shape it and, just making sure you don't screw it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think everybody and their mom were doing hammer-ins this weekend too, because I was at one closer to West Texas in Abilene for the Texas Knife Makers Guild, and there was, a ton of really awesome demos. One of the best ones that was there was, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Owen Wood. He won like the best in show folder this year at Blade Show. If y'all saw that,
yeah,
and the dude makes ridiculously complex stuff. And watching him, like if you go look at his Instagram, because some of the stuff that he makes, whenever he forges the blade, like it's hard to explain this way, but he forges it together to where there is sacrificial steel, and what he's ending up with is, for a folder blade, probably like a 3.5 to 4 inch by probably 1.5 or 2 inch rectangle. That's 3/16 thick, and there's sacrificial steel on the bottom and top, and he pretty much comes out with the blade. Just once you grind away that sacrificial mild steel, like the blade's there. Like, it's the way the man's brain works. It's like nutty. And when you look at his stuff, it's just ridiculous. So yeah.
Right on, man. I wish I had a hammer in to go to this weekend. I feel a little jealous, man. That sounds awesome. That's cool. Well, I did a little bit of forging this weekend too. I forged out a couple of railroad spike knives. I ended up last time we were on the show, we talked about different types of railroad spikes, and I got some higher carbon ones. Again, I'm not expecting them to be high performers. I'm mostly just making ornament pieces that I can sell at a market. And they're a lot of fun to make. I mean, because my first knife that I ever made was a railroad spike knife. So just having fun with it and just getting back to the basics of forging to shape has been a lot of fun for me, because I haven't been able to do a whole lot of that in my knife making recently. And honestly, it's kind of like a little bit of an ego boost, because like I get to forge into shape and it's like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this. Like, I'm actually not bad. Like, I kind of feel good about myself. My heels get drawn out normally, and I get this distal taper that just kind of happens without me even thinking about it. It's like, damn, I'm actually not as shitty as I always think that I am. Like, this actually kind of makes me feel good. And I said that, or I didn't say that, but I showed a picture of one of the ones that I made to Jeremy Ballaball. And he's like, dude, why aren't you doing integrals? You need to make some integral chefs. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I was forging yesterday, and so I pulled out a bar of 1080 that I had, or 1084 rounds. I can't remember. I bought it from Lawrence. And so I just forged it out in integral chef, and, again, no customer in mind, no pressure, just forging for the fun of it. And it was phenomenal. So I'm actually going to finish this one. I forged out probably like 4 integrals over the couple of years, and I've never actually finished one. So I'm going to actually finish this one, and I'm really excited about that.
I saw that picture. It looked good.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah,
Sure
it's
did. That was a weird pause.
yeah, there's a little bit of something there. Anyways, yeah, aside from that, oh geez. I mean, I'm having connection issues over here. You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyways, so one of the things that I've always struggled with my Damascus is I don't have any kiss blocks for my press. And so getting my final billets consistent has always just kind of been done by eye. And so I saw a set that Wahlberg Forge made a while back, and they're made specifically for my 12 ton from Cole Ironworks. And it's really cool the way that he has these little set screws that attach it onto the sides of the, I don't know, the crossbar, whatever you want to call it. And then he's got magnets set in the top so that you can adjust how high you want your kiss block to be just by swapping out just a chunk of steel or whatever. So I ordered a set of those from him because I always say I'm going to make something and then I never make it. And I just kind of go on struggling rather than making something to make my life better. And, you know, whatever. Support another maker. And I really love the design that he came up with because it's not something that I would have thought of. So I got a set of those coming. I'm really excited about that. Going to do some more Damascus just for fun. And I've started working a little bit on liner locks. I'm kind of torn between liner locks and frame locks, but yeah, I'm trying to find a milling machine. I haven't found one that I want yet. So, anyways, Ryan, what have you been up to?
So I got back. I banged out 12 little cleavers for the restaurant super quick. Got them out for Father's Day, and then I'm working on customs. I did a fucking humongous MagnaCut diamond grind chef knife.
Yeah.
Dude. Fuck MagnaCut. I mean, it's awesome steel, but god damn, dude. Like, it took me at least 3 times longer to grind that knife than it would a normal one. Out of
Like
ABL, ABL, Nitro V, carbon steel, anything else I've worked with. Those CPM steels are like on a whole nother level of hardness. And more specifically, abrasion resistance.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's what's going to get you your edge retention. That's why it's such a crazy good steel.
Yeah, it's true. It is a good steel, and that's why the customer picked it. Because it's like everybody in the world now is like, MagnaCut, MagnaCut.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, I want MagnaCut. And I was like if it was a little EDC, I'm like, yeah, no problem. It's a fucking 9-inch long diamond grind chef knife. I'm like, full tang. I'm like, oh my God, man. Okay.
Oh, man.
And it's getting a little brother with it that's 6 inches long.
Also MagnaCut.
Also MagnaCut, thicker
Oh,
stock.
man.
So, yeah. Super fun. Working on this Sanmai. I showed you guys before the show, but I screwed it up, but it's like a happy mistake because it kind of looks cool. Looks like a Skinatar. Because it was supposed to have a clip on the back, and I just kept grinding past where I wanted it until it was a dagger-ish.
It looks freaking cool, man. I like it.
It does look cool. And I didn't realize he used 2 different darkening steels. So you can kind of see it's like way darker on the jacket than it is the core. I think it's...
And who made that?
Timber Tiger. I can't remember what steel we picked. I'm one of them just do whatever kind of guys. So I'm like a horrible client. I don't help with anything. I'm like, just do whatever. I'll make it work.
Shout out to Timber Tiger Forge for some badass Sanmai.
Yeah. Yeah, his prices are too low. So if you like low prices, go buy some Sanmai off Timber Tiger. But
you know, I just got a box from him, a bunch of 1084 and 15N20. It was a really good price.
Yeah, it's
and
like
he added a couple other things in too.
Yeah, I bought 2 bars of that. Good size bars. They're like 18 inches by 2 inches by 3/16 thick. And he's like, yeah, have some wrought iron, threw some titanium in there. I'm like, damn, dude, how are you making any money? But love that guy. And turns out I'm a great hunter. So,
what?
I don't know if y'all... I'm a great hunter.
Oh.
I killed one of the rats in The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
One of the ROUSs.
Yeah. Did you see the
rodents of unusual size?
Thing? Yeah.
It was a small one.
They get bigger for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That was the biggest one that I've seen living in my space. Rats they're common here, but like not usually in dwellings. But we've been getting inches upon inches of rain And so all their burrows in the ground will fill up and they'll start looking for dry places to chill out. And I'm sitting in the shop. My seat's right behind me. And then right in front of me above the computer is my TV. And like the insulation and the little like, cutout, like there's a hole there on all the joists where you up into the upstairs. So the night before, I had thought I saw something run out of the corner of my eye, but it was like 3:00 in the morning. And I was like, I'm just fucking really tired. I imagine that. And then I come out the next day and there's like little footprints on my TV, like in the G10 dust that's all over my shit everywhere. And I'm like, oh, there's something out here. I'm thinking it's a mouse. So I'm over here at my computer for like 45 minutes or whatever before I get ready to grind. I start wrapping my thumbs. I walk over. I set my gaffer's tape on my work rest. And it's like me and the rat made eye contact at the same time. And we both jumped. He was standing on the stairs and he ran up the stairs. He's so big, he ran up my stairs. And I was like, oh, fucking motherfucker. So I was like, I can't work now. There's a humongous rat out here. I can't work. I can't grind with headphones on while this fucking rabies infested beast is in my shop. So I shut off the music. I shut everything off. I went in the house. I got Georgia. She gets on the scent of the rat, gets to the stairs and realizes it's up there and she's all set. She's like, I found it. So she leaves. I go inside. I got one of them big rat snap traps. So I put a big old glob of peanut butter on the trigger. I set the trap and I set it right up on the top step. And then I just come out here and I sat on the stool with my pellet gun for like an hour. And I could hear him up there like moving around. Like he wasn't very sneaky. He was like knocking shit over. Like, yeah, he was like making noise. And I hear him like on the insulation right above my TV. And I'm sitting there with the pellet gun looking. And I see his head pop out. And he sees me and pops his head back up. And then like 5 minutes later, I hear him start running around on the floor again. And snap, boom, into the trap. I was like, heh. Gotcha. I went up and finished him off, though. He was so big. It was one of them big rat traps. He was flopping the rat trap around on the floor, like banging around with it on his head. Like boom, 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 boom. And I don't like killing stuff. I felt bad, so I put him out of his misery with my BB gun. It's one of them ones you can pump forever until you can't, like, you just can't lock it anymore, and then it's super dangerous. Yeah.
It was a thrilling story. My goodness.
Thanks. I was worried when I posted that people were going to be like, oh, Ryan's shop must be so gross, there's a rat in it. But it's really not. And there's no food out here. I think he was just trying to get dry and should have left when he could have left.
Yeah, that's the thing about working in an automotive shop is that, like, I've been hunting and I'll be sitting in my blind and you'll have like a rodent just like walk up to you and like look at you and be like, oh, hey, what's up, buddy? Like, we're good. Like I'm out here looking for an elk or a deer or something. I'm not going to bother you. You're out here where you're supposed to be. We're good. But when they come into the shop at work or when they do, we had this one do about like $3,000 worth of damage to an Audi. And he got himself stuck in the drive belt. And so he got all bloodied up, but he was still just fine. Kicking, still chewing up wiring harnesses and stuff. Okay. He somehow got himself into the interior of this car. And so we're talking like blood all over the seats, white leather seats in this Audi. And
so
all this
like
other
a
stuff.
Mangled fucking animal crawling around in their car.
Oh yeah. It was awful. So yeah. And we didn't, I don't know how to describe this. Anyways, long story short, I had to kill the rat, but it's like you didn't have to be here. You could have been somewhere else out in the woods, and you and I would be good. We're cool. You're where you're supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. But now you're here causing $3,000 worth of damage to an Audi, and you have to die. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this didn't have to be this way.
No, dude. So in the small engine world, we'll get in a lawnmower or a snowblower constantly. It happens all the time.
And there'll be a nest full of them.
Full of them. Hasn't been run in years. Okay, cool. Fire it up. and they just start pouring out of it. Fucking half of them are missing pieces because as soon as an air-cooled engine fires up, the air suction starts to go and they get sucked into the flywheel, and they're just fucking like. We had one that we had to pressure wash, put gloves on to take the shroud apart because there was so much rodent guts coming out of it. Poor guys. And then occasionally we'll find ones that like survived the running and they were like in there for years and got mummified. So like you'll take off a shirt. We had one that was like in the weird position, and I super glued him to a tech deck and put him on.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
Yeah, I put him on Chancey's workbench. Chancey chews tobacco, and I won't take a lunch, so I can leave an hour earlier. And so I'll leave at 4, and he'll watch my spot till 5 when they close. And he'll leave his spit cups on my desk. So what I'll do is I'll find a dead mouse because they're everywhere, and I'll put it in the spit cup and leave it on his workbench.
Yeah, that's messed up, bro.
Or if it's a real full one, I'll dunk the head of his ratchet in the spit cup and just leave it there.
That's always the worst when people leave their spit cups everywhere. It's like, ugh. Especially if you get it on you, like you knock it over and it like, oh, it pisses me off.
I got super ugly with him one day because it was at one point they only had one lift there because I don't know if you guys know, but small engine lifts are like they're considered a specialty item. And so like a normal car lift is like $2,500, $3,000.
No,
come on. I mean,
8 to 12 grand probably,
depending on the lift.
Okay, fair enough.
These small engine lifts, the small one, which can only do like tractor, like small long, like Husqvarna tractors and push mowers and stuff, is $12,000. And then the bigger one that can do 0 turns is like 15, 16 grand. So for a long time, I didn't have a lift in my bay. Chancey had the big lift. So I was laying on my floor all the time. And he'd come over with a mouthful of spit and be talking to me and go, and fucking hawk friggin' chewing tobacco spit on my floor. One day I got so ugly with him. I was like, fuck face, you're cleaning that up. I have to lay on this floor. He's like, oh yeah, my bad. I was like, dude, come on. Chewing tobacco's nasty. How did we get talking about that? Dead rats?
I don't know. Dead rats. Well, we're already talking about it. So yeah, so this one time I saw this guy. This was the dumbest person I've ever met. And he was one of those guys that would have like a third of a can in his lip at any given point in time. And he was over talking to one of the senior techs, and this is we're talking about like a 5'6" dude who's probably like mid 40s. So you can just imagine like what his rage level is like between somebody being that short and being a mechanic for that long and all that. And so for those people who don't know, so you got a vehicle up on a hoist and you've got like an oil drain unit, and it's basically like a barrel with like a spout on the top of it and then a big tray. And then that's where you drain your oil down into, or any fluids that you're working on. And a lot of times you end up just setting your tools in there. Like, yeah, they get a little bit oily sometimes, but you set it on there while you're working on whatever you're working on. Well, the dumbest person I've ever known comes up to this guy, and he's talking to him, and he spits right in his oil drain unit. And we're not talking like we're talking like a full on, like, I'm sorry for those people who are like adverse to noises, because I'm sure that didn't sound great in your ears just now. But yeah, just full on into this guy's oil drain unit where his tools are. And I have never seen an individual skedaddle from someone else's stall that quickly, because he was scared for his life, because there was an eruption from that 5'6" man who was ready to kill him in several different ways and enjoy it, every minute of it. And he didn't go over there really again after that, I don't think.
Speaking of those oil drain units and eruptions, Have you ever hooked yours up to compressed air without shutting the valve?
No, but I've seen the results of it.
So for our listeners, these tanks, they have a hose that comes out of them, and you put that into a waste oil barrel and you hook up compressed air after shutting off the valve from the tray that the oil drains into. If you leave that valve open, it pressurizes the tank and all that oil comes out the top like a geyser.
Yes. A large geyser. We're talking 20, 30 feet in the air of straight waste oil. Not like clean, nice oil, like the dirty, nasty, everywhere. We're talking Mount Vesuvius here.
Like
with
Old
this stuff.
Faithful of waste oil.
Yes.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
quite
kind
a
of cool to
mess.
see.
You can the guy that did it.
you can coat an entire wall of a shop and the floor and everything in it. Think about your toolbox and like all the things that you have on it and like everything around there, all of your stuff, like, and not to mention your person as an individual, because you will be coated in this stuff.
It's a riot.
Yeah. Anyways, let's hear from one of our sponsors.
Sure. Let's go with Phoenix Abrasives.
Hustle and Grind podcast is sponsored by Phoenix Abrasives, your one-stop abrasive shop. When you go to phoenixabrasives.com, click the shop icon in the upper right-hand corner to find all the abrasives you'll ever need. Check out the Incinerator 36 grit ceramic belts, along with the Trizact Gator belts that the hosts of Hustle and Grind use every day. When you check out, use code HUSTLE10 for 10% off your entire order.
Thanks, Luke.
He's coming on soon. End of the month, I think.
Normally we try and we add on to our sponsors' little bits there. I don't really have anything amazing to say abrasive wise, but I do have some cool things to talk about with the machine that I run my abrasives on, which is an Ameribraid Fastback. And I am still loving my machine, and we had a great time talking to those guys at Blade, and their new machine. What's it called again?
I don't know the answer to that.
I can't remember what it's called.
Quick change something.
Anyways,
I asked them and then I forgot. So Eric and Kevin, I apologize.
No, I'm sorry too, because I forgot as well.
It was super cool though. Like watching him just switch out those things on that. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah,
Micah, did you get a chance to walk over?
I didn't. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. So tell me about it.
Okay, I'll tell you about it. So it's essentially a direct drive, whatever the hell you want. So think of like a standard standalone disc grinder, but there's a quick change collar on the spindle, so that you can change it out to have anything else on there, like a buffing wheel, or they had like a diamond wheel, and it's got like an adjustable work rest that you can maneuver in different angles and stuff. And the quick change collar is really a genius idea because it's got a tapered fit. So you've got these things that go, it's got a shaft that goes into like a small hole, but then it's also got like a threaded portion, so it twists after it goes in, and that locks it in place because it holds it right on that taper into the deal. So anyway, it's a really genius design. So shout out. I don't know if either one of them really kind of took credit for the design. I think they kind of worked on it together. But it was a phenomenal machine, and of course, it's variable speed and different motor options. I think that come with that as well.
Well, you can get the tilting table that so that way then you can have the spindle and do your choils and things like that. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, it goes vertically and horizontally, awesome. So you can use it for all the different options, I guess. But yeah. Brilliant design. And I just want to remind our listeners that they do have some of the most amazing accessories on the market. I know a lot of people that are listening to this probably already have a machine, but you can get all the Ameribraid attachments, and they do come in 1.5-inch arms. So if you have one of the other grinders out there that doesn't run on the 2-inch arms that the Ameribraid does, they make all of their own arms in house. So you've heard us talk about how amazingly precision machined their 2-inch arms are and everything. Well, they make all of their own 1.5-inch arms too. So it's all going to be made to the same level of precision and awesomeness for whatever grinder you're running. It doesn't matter.
The only
And yeah.
grinder that requires modification is if you're running a house-made.
Yeah, and they just grind off the corners. Yeah, because they have really sharp corners because they're aluminum arms.
Yeah, and you have to cut 4 inches off the bottom of it.
Oh, is the arm too long?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Because Ryan's done this
from experience. Yes,
I need to get around to dialed in Ameribraid. I've tried a couple, but I just think the guys that were running them, they don't tinker as much as I do to get everything running as true as it can. And I'd like to get my hands on one that's fully dialed in and running as good as it possibly can, because I've heard and seen great things. They look like great machines, but I haven't been able to use one that's just running to the T.
I was impressed because I still run a housemate. I just have a bunch of Ameribraid attachments. And Noah and I went to Jason Knight's grinding class at Blade, and I was amazed at how quiet the fucking thing is. Like when I turn my grinder on, it's like a thing. It's wah, you can hear it. It's going.
Well, a lot of that has to do with the bearings in your wheels, like your platen wheels.
Oh, that could be it.
Because I know I got my wheels from a company. Like I also have a Revolution from Housemade. I got it from my wheels from a different company and was having issues, and it was loud as hell. And then Brian sent me some wheels and it was super quiet. So it has a lot to do with those bearings and those wheels. So that probably just says they're using really great bearings,
Mine are getting kind of tired. The wheels are starting to get cupped inward. Like I've started to wear into the wheel itself. And at first I was like, fuck. And then I was like, wait a minute. I've ground enough knives to wear out my wheels. That's pretty
Look at you, bud. Go ahead.
My tracking wheel kind of has that thing where it kind of comes up like it's supposed to, and then it's got a good divot, and then it curves around. And that's kind of how I am. I'm like, I need a new one of those. But it's like, I've been running this thing balls to the wall for the past 2.5 years. So it's been putting in the work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's always a good feeling, like a good set of worn-in boots. You actually feel like you're doing something. That's cool. But yeah, I think it also has a lot to do with what belt you're running, because I was on a live with you, Ryan, and Pickle. I can't remember who else. It actually might have just been you and Pickle at the time. But I flipped on my grinder, and everybody was like, Noah, mute your freaking microphone. And I have eye protection and I have ear protection in my shop at all times. Like I don't mess around with that. So I accidentally turned on, or not accidentally, but I turned on my grinder when I didn't have ear protection on later that day. And I was like, holy crap, that was loud. Like, no wonder. And it's because I had one of those
Yeah, gator belts sound like space belts. They make like a weird, like whirring sound.
We call that high and tight where I'm from.
While you're bringing, I was going to say real quick, Brigham, did you see how well my face fit onto your face and beard?
Dude, it was like you and I had a baby together, and that baby grew up and just had like the perfect combination of our DNA. Because it was weird because I was looking at it, I'm like, man, I look really funny in that picture, and then I'm like, it took me a second to realize what was going on, but no,
Because we,
I thought it was pretty
yeah,
amazing.
we both wear glasses. If you look close, my facial hair has a red hue to it. And so my mustache is red, and then he put your beard over my beard. It was perfect. Anyway, sorry, Noah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I thought
Dude,
of it. I had to bring it up.
I didn't even know you had done that until I heard you talk about it on the podcast. I was like, I don't remember taking a picture of Ryan, and then I heard you talk about it on the podcast. I had to go back and look, and I was like, son of a bitch.
That's why it says, "Hi, my name is Noah" on my shirt.
Yep.
Because it's Noah's body and my face.
It's also why he's like 5'6" in half the photos and bearded. Well, massive, not massive, but bushier beard.
It was good. I've known Richie for 20 years. I've been sleeping on his fucking Photoshop skills because these movie posters he's been doing for the Bro Down, they're gold, man. The fucking Terminator 2, where he puts his own face on Sarah Connor, and I'm the Terminator with like half my face missing. It's that goofy picture I took with Kayla Cummings. Hold on.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool.
He's the T1000. And yeah, that's the T2 one. That's going to be the sticker for Terminator 2. And I got to find a company that does full posters because I want to do a poster for every episode, and everybody saw awesome. That one, the Karate Kid.
See if you can, if it's high enough pixels, send it to Staples or something like that.
Oh yeah, they'll do.
If I ever get to be on the Bro Down Showdown, can I request a movie?
Yeah, Honor picked the movie that they got that he get.
I want the Goonies, and you're gonna put me as Chunk.
Nice. He could do that. He already has pictures of your face because I had to send him the pictures for him to put my face over it. But we interrupted Noah's game, so sorry, Noah. Oh, we lost Noah. Shit. Pause. Well, that was stressful.
Yes.
We're back. Noah's kids decided to throw Kool-Aid in his router.
It happened. You know? Like, just one of those things. Kids gotta throw things. Well, I have no idea what we were talking about or where we were or
we were gonna play a game.
I think that's a great idea. I think we should play a game, Brigham. Do you guys want to play a little bit of Florida Man?
Yes.
Let's do it. Ryan, do you want to play us in, or do we just want to go ahead and go for it?
We'll play it in.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to play. Where in the world is Florida Man?
That's right. That's what I needed to get myself amped back up into this game. Because I'm not going to lie, running around trying to figure out what's not working and trying to get your connection back together while there are dudes waiting on you is a little stressful. So let's get back into this with where in the world is Florida Man? We begin. Man denies syringes found inside his rectum are his. A man denied that syringes
were his boyfriends.
I mean,
sorry.
Maybe. Man denied syringes were his after jail officials found them in his rectum during a strip search. Wesley Scott, 40, was arrested on Friday with an outstanding warrant charging him with drug possession. According to sources, when Scott was searched at the jail, officers found 3 syringes inside his rectum. Scott claimed he found the syringes and they were not his, although he did not explain how they ended up in his buttocks. Do you believe that this syringe smuggling man was in Florida, or where in the world was Florida man?
Maybe he's diabetic.
Ryan, let's start with you. What are you thinking, bud?
That sounds very San Francisco.
They get free syringes.
Oh, that's true. But they don't get them in jail. So he was
Who
smuggling.
says he got him in jail?
Yeah.
Was he smuggling syringes into jail? Is that what it was?
Apparently they were there when he was booked into jail. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just where he carries them.
I think you're onto something. I'm saying not Florida.
Maybe
Sorry.
he. Go ahead, Micah. Sorry.
I'm gonna go not Florida also, because that sounds kind of methy, you know. And I don't know. I'm gonna go not Florida because I feel like there's a broader spectrum of where that could happen than specifically in Florida.
Yeah, maybe he forgot they were there.
That sounds
He's like,
feasible.
I've been looking for those.
How long would they be in there without getting pushed out? You know,
I don't know. They call it a prison wallet for a reason.
I was about to say, prison wallet's a magical thing.
I don't really need to know if we need to do a deep dive on the how
he did
exactly
a
they
deep
got
dive
there.
with those needles.
There we go.
We're all in agreement, though, that it's not Florida.
I set him up and he just laid it up just perfect. All right, so unanimous decision, not Florida. Unfortunately, you gentlemen are all incorrect. But solidarity in your incorrectness, that was absolutely Florida. Thank you, Brian Hunt, for sending that one in. I got to say, I asked for Florida man stories last time we recorded, and I got Florida man stories. Let me tell you what, I got some stuff. So thank you, all you lovely listeners, for sending in some amazing content. I appreciate that. But you can keep sending more if you'd like. Just they all go in a bank, and I save them all, and it's great.
I
Next
even
up,
sent
kind
you
of
one
bank,
this time.
Noah.
What'd you say, Micah?
I said, what kind of bank, Noah?
The old spank bank.
That's inappropriate, sir.
Well,
Next up, naked man tries to start Fight Club at Chick-fil-A. Deputies say he stripped down and kept yelling, quote, "Look at my expletive." The man, 30-year-old Corey Michael Hatsey, was arrested on charges of disorderly conduct and resisting officers without violence. As of Monday afternoon, he remained in custody in lieu of $1,000 in bail. Do you believe that this Fight Club enthusiast, who was also a naked man at Chick-fil-A, was in Florida or somewhere else?
Did you say without violence or with violence?
Without. Very good pickup there, Brigham.
Yeah, they would have tasered his ass in Florida.
they just shot him in Texas.
I love that about Texas.
That makes it hard.
I'm not gonna lie though, that does kind of sound like an Austin thing. So
It's
that
weird.
might be in Texas.
Ryan, what you thinking?
Are Chick-fil-A's everywhere?
Yeah.
We have one. It's the busiest fucking fast food restaurant in this whole area. Jeez, I don't know. See, Chick-fil-A is a Bible company, and they're in the Bible Belt.
But we have them in Utah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just about everywhere now.
Yeah. I would say not Florida. Because he didn't get tasered or beaten by the people in line at the store.
I'm going to say the same.
Down to you, Brigham.
I'll go with Florida just to be different.
I like your thinking, Brigham, because that makes you correct.
Dang
yes. Where in Florida? They had to be a more liberal part to not.
I honestly didn't write down that part, so I apologize. I don't know, but maybe if you remind me, I can send it to you later. All right, guys, here we go. Last one. The chance for redemption. Man arrested after asking sheriff's office to test his, quote, bad meth after a, quote, violent reaction. Douglas Peter Kelly, 49 of Hawthorne, was hopefully there's Hawthorns in every state because I forgot to pull that out, was charged with possession of meth and is being held on a $5,000 bond. He had a, quote, violent reaction after smoking the drug and told detectives he wanted the substance tested because he wanted to, quote, press charges to the person who sold him the wrong narcotic. Quote, in an effort to ensure the quality of the drug that the suspect purchased, detectives told Kelly that if he came to the sheriff's office, they could test the narcotic that he purchased. The sheriff's office said on Facebook, Kelly drove to the sheriff's office and handed detectives a clear, crystal-like substance wrapped in aluminum foil. The substance field tested positive for methamphetamine, the drug Kelly intended to purchase. Kelly was then promptly arrested and booked into jail. Do you believe that this meth testing enthusiast was Florida, or where in the world was Florida man?
I'm pretty sure I saw that article, and I don't remember where it was from. It sounds like an Arkansas thing, though.
Yeah, because only in liberal states do they offer free drug testing to make sure it's safe.
Oh, is
But
that
they
actually a
didn't
thing?
Yeah, in California, San Francisco, that you can bring your heroin to the state and they will test it and be like, yeah, it's clean, and give it back to you.
That's
I didn't-
insanity.
I
And
didn't
then
know
they're
that.
like-
My mind, but they
They're
they,
like-
they wouldn't arrest him then, so we know it's not California.
Yeah, it's true. Florida would arrest you for it.
Wow.
I'm gonna stick
yeah,
with my
dude.
guns, and I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep on going. Not Florida.
Me too. Let's go down in a blaze of glory, Micah.
If I get the state right, does that count as 2 points?
It does indeed, yes.
I'm gonna say it is Arkansas.
Okay. Brigham, what you got,
I'm
buddy?
going Florida. I think you're going to give us a triple Florida day.
You think
probably
that I would
wrong.
do that? Really? Oh,
He would
that's
probably
an
do that.
interesting perspective. Ryan, you said not Florida, correct? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for proving me wrong. This was indeed Florida.
Dang it!
Yes.
Brigham, this is the first time that I have ever done all Florida. And you, sir, well done. Thank you, Brigham, for that. He absolutely crushed this week's competition. All three of those were Florida. Oh, sorry. Yes, I apologize. But not only did he crush all of those, but all three of those were sent in by Brian Hunt of Hidden Rose Forge. Shout out to him. Thank you very much, sir, for the plethora of stories that you sent to me, all of which are extremely high quality, lowbrow stories.
I even sent you one this week. That guy farting on the tacos, and then he got arrested, and his mugshot was gold. He's like he was so pumped he farted on some guy's tacos.
Yes, yeah, he was. It was one of those don't piss off the people who cook your food stories.
Yeah, I've got a few of them.
Those are like always the ones I hate hearing. Oh, it makes me not ever want to eat out.
If my wife and I go out somewhere and she's like wants to complain, I'm like, don't you say a word. I'm like, do you want to eat boogers and cum tonight? No, I did not think so. And the boogers and cum is a reference to South Park. But boogers for sure. I've seen some shit.
Don't test
where do you
Ryan.
think? Where do you think the phrase "floor spice makes everything nice" comes from?
Yeah, none of us have ever heard that phrase before, Ryan.
I have.
Oh my gosh! Oh man! All right, guys. Well, what do you want to do? I got some this or that. We can keep talking about like knives. This is kind of a knife show. We can talk about.
we have some famous knife related people coming on soon.
We do.
So maybe we should practice about talking about knives, because Dave Baker's coming on and Fingal Ferguson.
Fingal is awesome to me.
He's so cool in person. Very hard to communicate with through text message. He's a very big, like, one-line answer with a thumbs up, or like 2 words and a thumbs up, and I'm like,
it's because he's busy, man.
I know.
That dude runs a full farm and like cheese export business and knife making and everything.
Way bigger than I thought he would be. He is a very big Irishman. He's probably 6'4".
Yeah, like a small dude for sure.
I'm 6 foot, and I was like, "What's up, man?"
And his hair is like crazier than mine. Like I thought that was just kind of an act. No, that's like how he does his hair,
or doesn't do it. Yeah,
it's more of a doesn't do it.
But it's that's like a stylish doesn't do it, like on purpose. Like it's not done in a done way.
It's in the Irish genes. We got more important shit to fucking worry about than our hair.
Maybe he's born with it, or maybe it's Maybelline.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that'll be a fun one.
Here's my question, Ryan.
I want you to ask him about his handles. His handles are super unique, and I'm not lying. I tried to like copy it. I don't want to say copy, but like a style like his, and it's super comfortable. But have you guys ever noticed his handles? They're just...
I tried to emulate mine after his, to where it kind of pushes you into a pinch grip. Same thing. But I didn't want to like fully and whenever I first started doing facets, the way it kind of similar to the way that he does, I tagged him a couple times in them, but I just didn't take it like that fully, that sharp drop like he does, because I didn't want to fully just snake his stuff, you know?
Yeah, but it's
you never know how guys are going to react to that.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, Noah Vachon is like super cool, and he's like, I love it. Keep doing it. I'm like, cool, because I completely kind of ripped off your technique.
Well, it's actually interesting that Brigham and Micah both said that, because that was something that I kind of, I don't know, because my handles are quite different if you look at them versus Fingal's, but they still have that sort of shelf that your fingers can write on in front of the choil. I don't do like a finger purchase or anything like that. I do that on my smaller EDC stuff, but it's a shelf where your fingers can write on it, whether you're in a pinch grip. And the drop off in my case is a 2-inch hollow, which is almost like a chopper style. But I noticed that when I was speaking to a lot of my customers, a lot of them do the hammer grip with their chef knives even. And it's all well and good to tell your customers that they should do a pinch grip, but they're not really going to do that. They're just going to hold their chef knives how they hold their chef knives.
Well, it's like I've tried to show my wife how to hold a knife, and she still holds it like,
like a trowel, like a fucking shovel.
Exactly. So my goal was always to create a handle that could be held in multiple grips comfortably. And so that's kind of part of that. With that shelf, you can hold it comfortably in a hammer grip or in a pinch grip or in like a more of like a backwards, not like a backwards pinch grip, but further back off of the blade. What you got there, Brigham?
You said hold it backwards, and I was like stabbing people.
Oh, you had your hand up. I thought you were going to impart some deep wisdom on us.
No, just stabbing people,
Okay.
Holding the chef knife backwards.
Brigham is the most famous of all of us.
That is not true.
Is he?
Dude.
Or I don't know.
100% true.
Not at all.
When we met Morocco together, you go, my name's Brigham, and he goes, Brigham Kendall?
Yeah.
I'm not the only Brigham out there, but no, he knew who you were.
I know. I almost shit my pants. I felt like absolute dog shit that morning. I was so tired, probably a little dehydrated, and like I'm talking to Morocco, who's like my hero, like number one hero on my list, and I'm like, he's like, oh, I've heard of you, and I'm like, say what now? What? Yeah. I hope
That's awesome.
I hope I wasn't like visibly exhausted because I'd hate to be that guy that walks up. He's like, "What's up, man?" You fucking bags under your eyes. You just look like shit.
No, that was me. That was me for sure. I did not make a good impression, and that's fine.
I think that's like everybody, though. Everybody had just traveled and was tired. Like, give yourselves a break. You're doing
That is
great.
a vibe that I got from the entire show, that we were all enjoying ourselves but suffering together.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, poor freaking Sharky. I don't know if any of you guys talked to him the second day, but the first day he couldn't get back to his Airbnb. So his Uber app, something got jacked up with it. And so
That's right.
he was literally stuck at the show till I don't know how, like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and he had to be back to work the table again in the morning. So I talked to him the second day, and he was just hurting bad. Like he had not slept very much at all. I felt bad
I
for
want
him.
to say like Coy Baker, one of his guys, got him an Uber.
Yeah, somebody else helped him out.
Oh, nice. Hell of a group of guys. I'm trying to coordinate with Coy to get the whole crew on so we can like question them about what it's like to work in a job like that. Because where else are you going to make Damascus on the daily, for a day job? So
Damasteel?
Yeah, but theirs is injection. That's like fucking powdered shit, isn't it? That they.
I don't know how they do it.
Oh, they still forge it, but it's it is powder metallurgy. It's a little bit different, but I've seen some of their videos and stuff, and they are like, yes, they're using furnaces that are out of this world, but they're still forging.
Yeah, that's kind of something I wish they would get back on, the Baker Forge and Tool guys. Is their YouTube was sick. Like I liked watching it. Do you guys ever watch their videos? It was good stuff.
Yeah.
They're like all of their content is amazing, I think, and their products.
Coy he seems to do a really good job with like hiring the right people for the right position. Like whoever is in charge of his like social media production, they do a really good job. The photography is fucking amazing. And like I see that stuff and I'm like, no wonder nobody knows who I am. Look at my dog shit photography. You can see my mess in the background, like cigarette butts on the floor.
Well, okay, you say that, but speaking of Coy, speaking of your shit photography, when he was talking to B Cone on the WFI2, he was talking about their new sort of photo and media service that they're going to be doing. And it sounded like it was going to be pretty open to just about anybody to be able to use. And he's got some grand plans. I mean, Coy always has grand plans. He's always got, the next greatest thing coming out. But it sounded pretty awesome the way that he was describing the way that they were going to be able to offer some of those services to other knife makers. It was pretty cool.
When he sounded like he was going to make it affordable too. So that'll be the big thing.
What?
Like I've never made a knife nice enough to submit to like Sharp by Coop or the Fraser lady that does the pictures. I don't know how much it costs, but I don't think it's cheap.
They both do really good work, and they
do.
I got two taken by Jocelyn whenever I was in Atlanta, and she's the one that got me into Blade the first. Like, well, I've only been in there one time, but in the actual magazine, for like a wrought iron chef that I did, and like if they do the same stuff that she does, like I mean, if you can take a decent picture on your phone, like they'll edit the crap out of it, and I don't know how they make it look so good, but yeah, it's worth it. Like people see that stuff and people start coming out of the woodworks and asking questions. So it's worth it to get it done for sure.
What kind of rates are we talking about? Like
hers were, it's photo editing, so it's well, I don't know how expensive is expensive, but it's not like JCPenney in 1995 going to take pictures with your family. I think I did a 2-position for the first one, and it was around $150.
Oh, that's way cheaper than I thought you were going to say.
No, yeah. Well, and then I got two. I got the one that that me and James did, that feather with the keyhole. I got that taken at Blade, and then I got the that ball bearing feather one that I did. I got that taken at Blade, and I think it was 360, 320,
Okay.
360 something. It was. I mean, it was somewhere, and it was. I did two positions on both of those too, and like most of the, I mean, she does really good work. So I just tell her, like, she'll ask, what do you want? What do you want? This, and this. I'm like, you do your thing. Like I know she's the only one that I've really worked with. I've talked to Coop a little bit, but I mean, as far as an eye for backgrounds and mixing and angles and all that kind of stuff, she's got a good eye for it to me. So I let her do her thing.
Very cool, man. I actually just made a knife that I actually think it might be worthy of some good photography. So that might be something I might look into because, yeah, I definitely like the idea of that.
The feather
And
pattern
I think
one.
if you
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if you want to get into the magazines, like you got to get her to do it, or Coop, or the Martin case. Is it Casey Martin? They were at the show. I can't remember his name, but his dad makes really nice knives and folders and Damascus and stuff too. Corey
Yeah,
is
and
his
she
name, I
she
believe.
submits the photos to Blade to oh man, what's the guy that runs Blade's name? I don't remember off the top of my head, but she submits them to them as do you want to use these pictures kind of stuff. So
Gotcha.
Nice.
And you mentioned before she did just the editing for your
she
wrought iron
has
one.
she has done just the editing for two. Um, where like she'll give you, or on her website it'll kind of give you a guideline of make sure your lighting is like this, make sure this is this way, try these angles, those kinds of different things, and you take the picture, and I mean, you can set your phone up to take a really good picture. Like I use the portrait mode, and then do grids and do different stuff like that, to where you're getting a high pixel, high quality photo from your phone, and then you send that to her, and she'll edit it all the way that it needs to be edited. So,
Very
and
cool, man.
I think I sent her 4 or 5 pictures with the chef knife, and then the sword that I did for Last Blade Standing. I got her to do. I sent her like 7 or 8 pictures, and I was like, "Hey, I want something of the basket hilt, and then something of the blade fully. Whatever you feel like is working the best. You do your thing." And she did amazing pictures of both. So
Right on, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I think a big part of my problem is not knowing how to use my damn phone. So, like, you just said portrait mode. I'm like, that's a great idea. I've never tried portrait mode. Like,
dude, I take all my pictures in portrait mode.
They
really?
have that on Android. I didn't
I
realize
don't
that
know
was
if they have it on Android.
Yeah, they do. On my phone, it does.
Okay.
I got my
Very
phone
cool.
like it was like I know it's not top of the line, but it's like middle of the road, and it's supposed to have this awesome camera, and like some of my videos outside look really good, but then sometimes I'll take a picture and I'll zoom in on it, and it'll look like a painting for some reason, like it's weird looking. I'm like,
That's weird. That doesn't happen on my iPhone.
probably because it's made by slave labor.
Right. Yes, I know. Samsungs definitely are not. Right.
They probably are now. Everything is
Ethically cobalt mine. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like they buried them instead of burned the bodies. That's what they mean.
Right. Well, anyways, we got another ad we need to play, and
We do.
I'm sure Lawrence will be really happy about his ad being played right next to that comment.
I tried to get Lawrence back on, and he's like, "Nah." It's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
He's Lawrence is like, for those of you who haven't gotten to know him like we have by meeting him at all these events, he's a fucking riot, dude. Like, if you just stand with Lawrence and people watch, you'll hear the funniest shit come out of his mouth. And he's just like a super cool, down to earth Canadian, eh? Although he doesn't talk like that.
No.
Actually, none of our Canadian friends talk like that. Is that a stereotype?
Well, yes, it's a stereotype, but I don't know if you have ever listened to this one podcast. It's called it's a bunch of Canadians.
Forge Side
Forge
Chat.
Chat.
Yeah, I was just kind of messing with you guys, but yes, the Forge Side Chat. Yeah, they kind of do speak like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they do it as a joke.
Oh my gosh, just play the ad.
Hustle and Grind is sponsored by Maritime Knife Supply. Whether you're looking for steel, abrasives, handle material, forges, epoxy, or anything for making in general, Maritime Knife Supply has you covered. And in the US or Canada, they ship faster than the great Cobra chicken goosesses that their country is known for. Go to Maritime Knife Supply, and when you buy a 10-pack of belts, get 10% off. And tell them we sent you, eh?
Thanks, Luke.
Eh?
But yeah, well, okay. So yes, they do play it up like a little bit on their show. But when when we've had the abstract blacksmith on our show before, he still kind of talks like that. Like that's I don't think it's just an act.
Kind of like the main accent slips out of me every now and again.
All of a sudden, something will be wicked.
Wicked awesome, bub.
It's wicked cool, bub.
It's wicked cool.
Yeah, yes, a bub. But there's people who've lived here their whole lives down on the coast who that's how they talk all the time. And they're so fucking annoying, dude. Like, you'll have this old timer come into the shop and he's like, my tractor, it's a 24 horse. And you're like, what? It's a 24 horse Husqvarna. Like, yeah.
It's like
All
it's like people in the South getting real drawly and stuff like that. It's the same thing. Not that many people talk like that down here, but it happens.
Yeah, you get a few who like lean into it real hard.
Yeah,
I think every area has that though, like their
Yeah.
own little sub dialects, or where
yeah. Well,
like
except if you go to like the heel of Louisiana, like that area, not like closer to Mississippi where New Orleans and Baton Rouge are, or like the whole East Texas or South Arkansas part, but like that heel of the boot, that water boy sound, that's it right there. Like that's all you get from those people, and it's wonderful.
That Cajun
water boy sound. I like that.
They just had some Cajun YouTube guy in Maine cooking lobster, and he's like,
the
crawfish
stale
boil.
cracker guy.
I think so. Yeah, he's like, he
Put that on a cracker, dude. Yeah,
yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. I got family down there, and it was the funniest thing when I took my wife down there for the first time. She was like, "Babe, I don't understand anything anybody's saying," and I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "That happens." And then she goes, "All I know is that's what you sound like when you get mad," and it cracked me up.
Like the coach from The Waterboy.
Yeah,
He's like, we land the plane on it.
All right,
Another
guys. Well,
great Adam Sandler movie.
what do you say we switch over to an after show? I think we've been going for quite a while here.
A half hour. See, here's what I'm worried about. When the signal got screwed up and I paused the recording, it was paused at 42 minutes. The file over here on the left is an hour and 3 minutes long. So I'm wondering if it recorded me, Brigham, and Micah that whole time going, oh, there he is. Oh, unmute yourself. Change your video.
that's gonna be a good show.
we talked about some good stuff in there though.
That's right, all our nerd shit.
Oh, that's right. You guys went off in the books. I talked about Iceberg Slim, a pimp.
We talked about straight razors.
Straight razors. Yep. Okay.
So there's some
All
nice
right.
stuff in there.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's roll into the after show. And thanks, everybody. And if this episode comes out late because I got to piece stuff together, I apologize. Shit happens.
It does indeed.
We're a Fleabag show. We're not Knife Talk. We're good. I tried and failed to get us on Knife Talk this week because Kyle Daly was going to be on and he couldn't be on. And then I was trying to work it through Justin Lemaroo, and I messaged Fader, and Fader pretty much told me, I'm on vacation, go fuck yourself. And like, that's not what he said. He said, be a problem solver. I'm on vacation. And I was like, okay. Apparently Craig Lockwood is impossible to get a hold of if you don't know him. And that's probably by design. Good on him. That's a smart idea. I wish people didn't know how to get a hold of me sometimes. But yeah, I failed. It happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep sending you stupid memes. I'm not sorry.
But
anyways, guys, so we're gonna head over to the after show. The after show is for patrons only. So if you would like to listen to more of this drivel, you can go to patreon.com/hustle and grind. Sure. And where for as little as $1 a month, you can sign up to support us and love us, and we would love for you to love us. So we'll see you there.
And if you can't find us through Patreon, find us on Spotify, and there's a link on our Spotify page.
Ooh, there you go.
It says this show has a Patreon, and you click it.
It's so easy.
You give us $1 million.
Spotify's so much better than Apple Podcasts or whatever.
And YouTube, you don't have to worry about, like, they're not going to copyright strike you and pull your shit down. They don't care. They're like, who's going to sue them? Who's going to sue Spotify?
Nobody's going to sue. Whoa, Brigham just got brighter. Whoa, now it's dark again.
Wayo. Well,
you guys not watching the YouTube are missing out on this one, start to finish.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Good shit. Bye.
Oh, man. Bye.